Hi, my name is Jochen Kressin, and I'm the co-founder of Eliatra, the OpenSearch experts. In this last part of our series, we will query the documents we ingested last time with vector and hybrid searches. All right, now, we have our documents in our index, but what can we actually do with it? Let's go back to our DevTools. The first thing that I will try is doing a standard lexical search. In our case, I want to query for the term Europe. Let's execute it. As you see, we don't get any results back. Why? Because none of the description fields has the actual keyword Europe in it. Okay, but how can a vector search help us in this case? First, a little bit of theory. Vector embeddings transform text into lists of numbers, vectors, that capture the meaning behind words and sentences. When text has similar meaning, their vectors will be positioned close to each other in this mathematical space. For example, puppy and dog would have vectors near each other, while laptop would be far away. This is how computers can understand the relationships between concepts. When you search for information, your search query gets converted into its own vector embeddings. The system then uses k-nearest neighbors, KNN, to find documents whose vectors are mathematically closest to your query vector. Instead of just matching exact keywords, this approach finds content with similar meaning, even if different words are used. For instance, a search for how cars function would match documents about automobile mechanics because their vectors would be neighbors in this space, making search results much more relevant to what you're actually looking for. Let's have a look at the second query, which is not a lexical query, but what in OpenSearch terminology is called a neural query, which is just another term for vector search. For this neural query, I'm querying the passage-wide embedding field that contains the vectors. Our query text is, again, Europe. K means the number of results I want to have. In my case, it's 5. And again, don't forget to change the model ID, because the model that you use for indexing must be the same that you use for querying the index. Okay, so let's have a look. Where do we have our model ID? Okay, copy it, for example, from here. Go back, paste it in here, and let's see how the vector search yields different results than the lexical search. Now I get 5 results back, as requested. The interesting thing is that if you look at the description fields, none of them has the actual word Europe in it. What we have is German, or in this case, East Berlin, which all have a reference to Europe, obviously. That's why this neural search came back with these results. They are semantically similar to the search term Europe that I was using. But you can also already see the challenges of using a vector search. With a lexical search, you can in almost all cases determine why the search has produced the results it produced. It's all about keywords, frequency of keywords in the documents, and maybe some fuzzy searches to compensate for typos. Since we're dealing with vectors and not keywords, sometimes it's not really possible to figure out why the vector search yielded the results it did. If we have, like I said before, words with a semantic reference to Europe, like German, in our description field, it's quite obvious why this search result has been returned. But if you look at this last search result here, you can see there's actually no reference to Europe in the description field at all. It talks about Japan, which is obviously not in Europe. The only reference that you can see here is World War II, which, well, happened in Europe. That could be why this result was returned, but we will never know for sure. That's it for today. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you liked this video. See you in our next tutorial video.